All right. Well, let's get started here. So, okay, this week, let's see, we have for new PRs, I've got one for keeping onodes cached in a separate pinned cache entry list. The motivation for this is that we had a user that had a very large number of pinned entries in their Blue Store caches, and it was making it so that the old trimming behavior was not successfully trimming everything. We would stop before if we saw too many pinned entries, we just stop trimming. Um, and so they saw very significant memory growth in the OSD and quite a bit of slowdown because they were basically not really well because of the memory growth and everything shrunk. Um, so we were trying to keep the caches small, but at least with the onode cache, we're not effectively doing so because of so many pinned entries. Um, so everything just kind of didn't work very well. So this is an attempt to get around that. We'll see, but so far it's looking pretty good. Um, I guess we can talk about it later, the upsides and downsides of this, but that's it for now. Um, let's see, Radic. Oh, and I'm sorry. No, Kifu has a PR here for Crimson, just lowering log levels. I assume that's just a small performance enhancement there. They are working on trying to get some performance and efficiency numbers compared to classical OSD using MemStore. So I imagine they probably saw that when they were doing that testing. Um, let's see. Oh, I've got a small PR here that just increases the default number of RGW bucket shards. That probably shouldn't happen. Well, I don't know. It's debatable whether or not it should happen until after the next PR merges, which is Eric's PR here for reducing the per shard entry count during order bucket listing. So this is the one we were talking about 2 weeks ago, where the idea is to uh, only fetch a smaller number of listings from each shard, and then when RGW combines them, it can potentially refetch if it needs to. Otherwise, hopefully it's gotten most of them that it needs, or maybe all of them that it needs. Um, so updated PRs. Let's see. Oh, this is another one from Eric. I think this just limits the number of potential shards during dynamic resharding. Is that right, Eric? I think it's just a limit on the
Yeah,
upper
it
number.
does two things. Yeah, it puts kind of a limit of 1999 on the number of dynamic shards. And it also makes sure it chooses prime number of shards for values up to that. Um, this only
I
affects
see.
dynamic resharding. The user is able through the command line of read SGW admin to set to non-prime values and values well above 1999 as well. But anyway, I think we don't want to go up too high because we don't know how super high numbers of bucket index shards kind of affect the whole system. So theoretically, we can go up to like 65,530 prime, whatever the prime is that's approaching that two to the 16th or whatever it is.
And
Um,
Eric, what's the motivation for using prime numbers for a prime number of
well, because
shards?
we're using a to determine which shard something goes into, we compute a hash and then a modulo operation. And the belief is that with the modulo operation, you can end up with patterns of distribution which are uneven when you have non-prime numbers of shards. That
Okay.
multiples can hit the same shards disproportionately, and so with primes which don't have a multiple, it tends to give you better distribution.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, let's see. We have uh, a PR from Adam. This is his one for fixing the Red Hat logs with his that he ran into when he was doing his sharding work. Okay, it looks like tests were failing on that, so he needs to figure out what was going on and fix that. Auto tuning of the MDS cache memory limit, that still seems to be getting lots of updates. I'm not exactly sure what the newest ones are, but looks like Patrick continues to review it, so still marching on. Let's see, the sharded Blue Store work. So I ran through tests last week of that. It seems to work great. No, I ran into no errors with it. I don't know if it's still hitting any issues in Teuthology, but at least for me, it had no issues. From a performance standpoint, it didn't really do much, but none of my tests were limited by compaction. And that's really where it seems like we are seeing the primary benefit from it, is that it does appear to lower compaction overhead significantly. I think in the test I was looking at, between 4 to 6 times less write amplification during compaction. So that's exciting. That should potentially help in a lot of situations where people are hitting that with very large OSD databases. So it looks good to me. I think if it's passing Teuthology, we're ready to merge. Let's see. There's this fixed broken unused calculation. I don't know what's going on with that. I think maybe they requested another review. I object. Did Josh ever look at that, Adam? Did you get any more review?
Josh approved it. There is currently one known bug, and I know what the problem is, and I am currently massaging things. I put a fix in which broke a later commit, and I'm just massaging that commit around, and then I should be able to put it back through testing.
Yay! That's exciting. I'm glad that you were able to get a review.
Yes, I'm very happy.
Well, good deal. Glad to hear it.
But as soon as, but like I said, we already have a perfectly running RBD and an RGW. Although I modified something since then, so I should probably rerun that. There are two, I believe, related problems in FFS and the Rados suite, and I think I have a fix for that. So
yay!
Soon we should merge.
That's exciting. We got lots of good stuff coming here. This is really good.
Thank you.
All right. And then there was some motion on the IO Uring engine PR from Roman at SUSE. Kifu went back and installed a new kernel to test that again. His test results were a little weird with libAIO. He was seeing really, really slow read performance to the point where it to me at least, it looked like it was maybe there was something strange going on with those results. But IO Uring looked good in both in that test and in other tests. So I think if everyone is in agreement that it looks okay, we probably can merge it. The only kind of concern I have is that it requires a new kernel to be able to test it in any way. So we won't be able to really support it well unless we keep a machine in-house that has a non-standard CentOS or RHEL kernel. So especially for downstream, we probably want to be a little bit careful with this. I wonder a little bit if we should mark it experimental for now. But anyway, it seems to be working fine, so that's good too. And I guess that's it for stuff this week that's been new or updated. Nothing closed that I could see in my list anyway. So yeah, that's about it. The only discussion topic I have for today is with Blue Store cache trimming. This customer issue that we saw where we were not trimming properly. I think that my PR fixes it. Josh really wanted to get this in for testing and potentially a Red Hat downstream release. The downside with this PR is that it does introduce more locking contention in the Blue Store cache shards, Onode cache shards specifically. And it is a little slower because of that. Having said that, it looks like we probably can mitigate it pretty much, I think probably almost entirely, by increasing the number of Blue Store Onode cache shards. So the latest version of that PR also kind of disassociates the number of cache shards with the number of OSD op shards. Is that what we call it? Num op shards? Yeah. Previously they were set together. This basically lets you set them independently and then set a larger number of cache shards. I think that's probably enough to basically kind of mitigate most of the downsides of it while keeping some of the upsides. But if anyone is kind of interested in this stuff, certainly take a look at it. See if you think there's a better way to accomplish the same thing. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's different trade-offs. So yeah, that was the only thing I was going to mention. Anyone have any questions about that or have other topics they want to bring up this week? Maybe the one other thing, Igor, how close do you think we are on making a decision on the 4K min-alloc size?
Well, from my results, it looks pretty good, except the one case, which is my latest PR, making single allocator for Blue Store and BlueFS. In this case, the performance for small writes drops dramatically. I did some analysis on that, and it looks like it's caused by locking contention within bitmap allocator. So right now I'm trying to refactor the allocator by introducing several shards with independent locks per each. But well, that's mostly more relevant for single allocator stuff and for 4K allocator min-alloc size itself. So well, except this note, otherwise it looks good for me. Maybe we should go ahead sooner or later with that change.
Sure. I ran through some tests on the new nodes that Intel donated for the community with their newer P4610 and Optane drives in them, and it was actually significantly faster with the 4K min-alloc size and that setup than it is with 16K, which it was surprising to me how much of a difference it made. Positive difference. It was like 25 to 30% faster. I think in your results you saw it was a little faster too, right?
Yeah, it's around, well, from 10 to 20% it's faster. But maybe one thing we missed is, so my results are for NVMe only configuration, the same is for yours. Maybe we should benchmark spinner case also.
Yeah. When you were testing the spinners previously, do you think were those results valid, or were there problems?
I should realize that. Don't remember exactly what happened.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember because I remember it was before you went on vacation, and then I couldn't remember if we thought that there were problems.
So I don't recall anything very bad for those cases. Maybe no benefit at all, or just some insignificant differences for this other case. But well, I am planning to do to retest using a standalone FIO plugin once I'm done with allocator stuff. So, well, at least actually we have two settings. We have different settings for DD case and for SSD one for this min-alloc size. So definitely we can proceed with flash mode.
Yeah. I wonder, I don't know. I guess I was wondering if it ends up being that we should, if it were happy with 4K for both, I wonder if we should just make it one setting again. But maybe not, I don't know.
Well, at least for some time, let's have
Yeah,
two different settings.
sure. Okay, well, yeah, like you said, maybe for Flash, maybe we set that for right now, and then we see for hard drive.
Well, one more maybe relevant topic here is that I could see some performance degradation between Luminous and master branches. Luminous is faster for small writes. Well, this probably needs some additional investigation. And well, for 4K random write, the difference is around 20 to 30%.
That's really interesting. On some of the testing I've done since about July, master's been significantly faster for me than previous releases, primarily due to the cache work. Interesting. Igor, have you ever used either Atom or my wall clock profiler?
Well, it was a while ago, not now.
Okay. It'd just be interesting to see what you're seeing as a bottleneck.
Well, first of all, I'd like to check to revert this BlueFS min-alloc size and check maybe that's the case. Because I recall you saw some. Actually we backported BlueFS min-alloc size to Luminous as well, so they are probably the same. So that's not the case. But anyway, well, it's my list to analysis.
Okay. Well, yeah, definitely let me know what you find. That's definitely an interesting result if you're seeing it slower. All right. Well, anything else, guys, or should we wrap it up a little early today? All right. Well, then, have a good week, everyone, and see you next week. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.